Being an anime fan these days is awesome. Welcome to WatchZilla. Today we are going to give you our top 14 best anime video games that let you play with your favorite spiky-haired icons and pull off the hypest special moves in existence. Toonami still provide your usual curated lineup of dubbed shows, while popular anime streaming services such as Funimation Now, Crunchyroll, and even Netflix provide an even larger slate of animated greats to follow. Back in the day, anime heads were forced to cop tapes with a few episodes of their favorite anime productions. There were plenty of notable video game publishers who tried their hands at getting in on the anime craze, but many of them failed spectacularly. Playable embarrassments, such as Dragon Ball GT, Final Bout, Beyblade, Metal Fusion, and Yu Yu Hakusho. Spirit Detective, point to that sad revelation. There is still an alarming amount of lackluster anime games being released to this very day. But there's also a strong lineup of games based on popular anime and inspired by Japan's celebrated art style to enjoy. Games based on anime may not have the greatest of track records when viewed as a whole, but if you look past the stacks of same arena fighters and pools of shallow action games, you'll find a bunch of gems that successfully translate over the magic of anime or manga into video game form. We comb through all the garbage to gather all the gems within the anime games spectrum. Number 14. Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs Maxiboost on. Mobile Suit Gundam aficionados finally have their dream fighting game in the form of this arcade to PS4 port. When people talk about mecha, Gundam is usually the first thing that comes to their mind. Gundam has a storied history in games, going all the way back to the 80s on consoles that predate the NES. In the early 2000s, however, Gundam games reached new heights with the start of the Gundam vs series. Gundam vs games consist of 2v2 battles in a fighting game combat system like the Virtual On series. The games have had many iterations, and one of the best was Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs Maxiboost On, released on PS4 in 2020. In Maxiboost On you have a massive volume of Gundams to choose from across 5 decades of anime and manga. A grand total of 183 fan-favorite mobile suit units are at your disposal in this hyperactive arena fighter. While the game has a bare-bones but satisfactory story mode, its multiplayer is where it's at, which features fast-paced action that has you constantly dashing, jumping, and dodging your opponent's attacks while trying to impose your own will on them. The battle mechanics at the heart of this mech brawler feel like a natural evolution of Sega's Virtual On games, plus its wealth of single and multiplayer content makes it much more valuable than your average anime arena fighter. Once you've gotten acclimated to the game's complicated control scheme, you'll quickly become enamored with the intense Mobile Suit Gundam battles happening on your screen. The simple yet deep combat system is why this series has lived on 20 years after it started. Skip over Gundam vs. and give this pick on our list all your attention instead. Number 13. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. The Ultimate Ninja Storm series finally ended with the 6th installment in the long-running franchise. And boy, did it go out with a bang. The Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series is one of the best arena fighters around. The Ninja Storm 4, along with its added expansion, Road to Boruto, is a culmination of the entire game series, as well as Naruto's storyline, in one game. Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 brought back the beloved Ultimate Jutsu and Awakenings battle mechanics, plus it increased the game's already high fun factor with the ability to switch between characters mid-battle. It features over 100 characters to choose from, and that's not even counting the multiple iterations of some characters, and its gameplay is extremely accessible, which makes for an excellent competitive scene. The story mode wrapped up all the closing chapters of the anime and made sure to make its biggest ninja clashes as epic as possible in boss battle form. The welcome DLC edition of Boruto's first adventure is the cherry on top of Naruto's finest foray into arena fighters. There have been many anime arena fighters, but nothing really comes close to what CyberConnect 2 has achieved with Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Number 12. Attack on Titan 2. The premise of Attack on Titan was ripe for a video game adaptation. The first video game was released in 2016. It was rather disappointing and inconsistent, to say the least. Fans collectively agreed that there was much room for improvement. When the second video game for the series was released, fans were quite satisfied with its significant improvement from the original. Attack on Titan 2 takes the base of the first game, quite literally, as it features some of the same cutscenes and missions, but builds on the story in an interesting way. This sequel featured better combat and movement mechanics, and it allowed players to customize their own character to fit into the story, making it a more immersive experience. Attack on Titan 2 lets us play as a custom character joining the canon cast of Attack on Titan in their ongoing fight against the fearsome beasts. It may not be the most beautiful game, but it sure is a fun way to revisit the Attack on Titan story and lend a hand in slaying the massive creatures in the series. Number 11. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga series has been around since the 80s, but had not reached peak popularity in the US until the anime adaptation that started in 2012. However, 14 years before that, arcade players and Dreamcast owners got a taste of JoJo in the fighting game simply called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Made by Capcom, it ran on the same graphics engine as Street Fighter III and featured a completely new and innovative combat system. The hook in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was stands, cosmic spiritual beings that were integrated into the fighter's moveset, but also able to be summoned as a separate entity. The whole package was made more enticing by the several original artworks made by the creator of the manga, Hirohiko Araki. While there have been many JoJo's games since this one, this game is still one of the best when it comes to style. Number 10. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 Full Burst. Naruto Shippuden is the ultimate manga superhero fantasy, with books, TV, and anime games galore. That said, you'll have a hard time fully grasping the story of Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 Full Burst if you don't have wide knowledge of the canon. But if you take the time to dive into his sprawling anime series, or just like punching things as an incredibly cool ninja, you'll find one of the best anime games for PC. This Bandai Namco fighting game is similar in structure to its predecessor, Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, so you can expect to scrap your way through a 12-hour story that explores classic Naruto themes such as friendship and brotherhood. In an interesting spin on the wider narrative, ultimate decision moments are forks in the road that allow you to either follow or diverge from events lifted from the canon. Either side of fighting, you can engage in some JRPG-light objectives like taking on side quests, shopping, and item collecting. Undoubtedly the most complete Naruto game, this is an anime game that is not to be missed. Number 9. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Don't front, as a young Dragon Ball Z fan, you most definitely drew your own spiky-haired Saiyans and wished they could be a part of the show's beam-struggling encounters. The first Xenoverse game gave those same fans the chance to create their own characters, and it was decent enough. It's the sequel that truly helped the Xenoverse concept tap into its full potential. The main hub world of Content City is massive and home to all sorts of gameplay modes that will suck up all your time. Upgrading your custom Z warrior and righting the wrongs of altered Dragon Ball Z timelines is a fun time. There's so much to see and do in Xenoverse 2. There's tons of story mode content, character skills, costumes, parallel quests, and so much more to pour your energy into. Xenoverse 2 is practically the Dragon Ball Z MMORPG that fans have always dreamed of. Number 8. Dragon Quest XI. The latest adventure in the veteran Dragon Quest series is exactly that, an adventure. It's vast, colorful, ridiculously charming, occasionally quite touching, and ultimately satisfying. One of this generation's finest RPGs. The anime-inspired 3D environments are lavish, evocative, and distinctly Akira Toriyama. And indeed, the famed Dragon Ball and Chrono Trigger character designer was responsible for Dragon Quest XI's art design. There are a few heavy, even heartbreaking, chapters, but for most of the ride you'll be so charmed by the world and its characters that you'll wish they were real. And the gameplay loop is challenging enough to demand some grinding, but by no means excessively. Dragon Quest XI is a traditional JRPG in almost every way, and the fact that it stands so tall among literally decades of genre classics says all you need to know about it. Number 7. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. We look jealously on as our console cousins enjoyed the whimsical delights of Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, but no, all is forgiven. The sequel might be without the original Ni no Kuni's Studio Ghibli, but the faster Ni no Kuni 2 gameplay ensures that Level 5 have finally brought one of the best anime games to PC. This time you don the finery of deposed Child King Evan Pettiwhisker Tildrum. The devilish rodent that is Otto Mossinger is running the show in the idyllic society of Ding Dong Dell now, and you're going to need several ways to take back your Ni no Kuni 2 kingdom. Besides overwhelming your foes in large-scale Ni no Kuni 2 RTS battles, the best way to do this is start a new one. This is where Evermore comes in, your new civilization that you can build from the ground up by recruiting specialists from across this beautiful anime world. And Higlities are the cutest little critters in any anime game, don't fuck us. Number 6. Hack G.U Last Recode. More so in the 2000s than today, MMOs like World of Warcraft dominated pop culture. Inside of those MMOs, a million little stories were happening, with many of them having enough emotional substance to be used in entertainment. While it's a bit of a trope-filled genre, Hack was one of the first fascinating isekai projects that centered around an in-universe MMO titled The World. In 2 video game series, the idea of being in an MMO was explored through a single-player lens, giving players a way to experience some of the more appealing aspects of the genre without subscription fees or an online connection. The second series of G.U games was recently collected as Last Recode, which has all 3 PS2 titles, remastered, as well as a final chapter. Play this game for a bizarre bit of meta-storytelling that has a lot of twists and turns with additional content to explore. A Switch version of Last Recode was recently discovered as an ESRB rating, with an announcement imminent. Number 5. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, Complete Edition. Nintendo Game Freak's undisputed king of creature-collecting RPGs has held that title for years. Its main competition comes in the form of the Digimon franchise, which hasn't had the greatest of luck when it comes to delivering above-average video game adaptations. Once those digital monsters fans adore, so much got the full-fledged RPG treatment, greatness ensued. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and its sequel Hackers Memory transport players to a world full of digital mysteries surrounding cyberspace. Getting to the bottom of both games' worldwide web capers entails collecting, raising, and digivolving an army of Digimon that fight alongside you. The story, characters, and super addictive creature-collecting RPG mechanics within this collection are endearing enough to grab your attention for hours on end. Number 4. Persona 5 Royal. In Persona 5, Japanese high schoolers navigate an adult-controlled world that lacks fairness, but they take a stand against the nastiest of these adults through destiny-bestowed hero powers that transform them into phantom thieves. These thieves can physically enter a person's subconscious, tackle their twisted inner demons, and steal their most valued treasure to change their heart on issues. It's a narrative-heavy story with turn-based combat, like that of Pokémon, with some of the most influential visual flair in games. This mature tale is long-winded, so it is best enjoyed over a long period of time, much like one would watch a multi-season show. There are multiple levels of difficulty, so players of varying skills can enjoy this flagship anime game. This is one of the most common anime games players request to be made available on other platforms. Currently, the core game, Persona 5, and its expanded version, Persona 5 Royal, are available only on PS4. A hack-and-slash game called Persona 5 Strikers that takes place after the events of Persona 5 is available on Switch, Steam, and PS4 for those who want more of these characters. The gameplay is different, but the core feel remains similar. Thanks to the success of the Steam release of Persona 4 Golden, we will likely see ports of Persona 5 at some point. Number 3. Astro Boy, Omega Factor. Astro Boy is one of the classic anime franchises created by the godfather of manga, Osamu Tezuka. When the 2003 anime reboot came out, there were 2 games made as tie-ins, one for the PS2 and one for the GBA. The superior of the two was the GBA game Astro Boy, Omega Factor, which was a love letter to not just Astro Boy, but many of Tezuka's other works as well. Omega Factor had a beat-em-up plus shmup combo that echoes the combat of the Mega Man Zero franchises, while tying to the shmup legacy of treasure titles Life Radiant Silvergun and Ikaruga. And the story is a mashup of some of the 2003 anime story, some manga plotlines, and all new tales. It's also strongly encouraged to play through more than once to see its true ending. Number 2. One Piece, Pirate Warriors 4. There are plenty of animes that have gotten the Omega Force Muzu game treatment in recent years. The Warriors brand of games from Koei Tecmo, often referred to as the Muzu genre, offers easy-to-play games full of fan service of varying degrees of success. Mobile Suit Gundam, Berserk, Fist of the North Star, and the heroic legend of Arslan have all been represented by Dynasty Warriors button-smashing mayhem. The best out of that bunch must be the Pirate Warriors games that take place within the swashbuckling world of One Piece. With One Piece still being one of the most successful anime manga series in the world, Pirate Warriors 4 gives fans a slew of iconic characters to embody and blast away thousands of enemies. The latest entry in the series is undoubtedly the best. It features the largest collection of playable characters, the combat is even more hectic, the inclusion of original characters and brand new scenarios is cool, and the wider range of special moves at your disposal allows for even more combo potential. These games are power fantasies that are just plain fun. One Piece, Pirate Warriors 4 is pure light and heavy attack button mashing heaven. Pirate Warriors 4 makes strides from precious entries and is perfect for anyone wanting to gum pistol baddies. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1. Dragon Ball FighterZ. It should be no shocker that Dragon Ball FighterZ tops this list of the best anime to video game adaptations, as it really checks all the boxes of what a video game adaptation of anime game should be. Mimics the look of the show. Adapts the essence of what makes the show special in video game form. Gameplay that provides enough depth to sustain a fan's attention beyond just the initial appeal. But then FighterZ goes beyond that with a fighting system that feels truly unique in a crowded space of 2D fighters. Its pace is lightning fast, thanks to a universal super dash mechanic that allows any characters to close the distance in a flash, along with a vanish attack that lets players instantly teleport behind their opponent to either continue a combo or catch their opponent off guard in typical Dragon Ball Z fashion. In the years since its release, FighterZ has only improved, with a ton of interesting DLC characters, smart gameplay tweaks, and the addition of a dojo to better help players understand its depth. It's not perfect, but it still stands as the best blueprint of success for video game anime adaptations. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchZilla and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.